Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How are you?
Okay, pretty good, and you?
I'm doing great. You go by Robson?
Yes,
Yeah, nice to meet you, Robson.
nice to meet you too.
We are an IT staffing company based out in Cincinnati. Um, Give me 1 second. 1 second. Someone just called me. Let me just message them quickly. Um, can you stay on? I just need to call this person for a second.
Okay, no
Okay.
problem.
Thank you.
Tô gravando aqui para revisar meu desempenho depois. Sempre bom fazer isso.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
So, do you have this software who is taking notes?
Yes, I
Robson's
forgot
AI
to
note taker?
yeah, I forgot to remove them from this meeting. I'm sorry about that. You can remove them if you want to. It's just a note taker.
That's all right. No problem. Let it be. So, mine Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm a recruiting head for this company. We are a IT staffing company. We staff IT contractors for our clients, and we are a mid-sized staffing and consulting company. So about $25 million overall revenue and 140 employees. Um, Primarily all IT. I have a local client here in Cincinnati. It is one of nation's largest grocery store retailer that we've been supporting for last 10 years and been supplying them IT contractors for a decade now. So right now, one of the managers is looking to hire an Android backend, a full stack developer for his team. So it's a backfill role. So the person who left, I don't know, left or whatever happened. The person that they are trying to backfill was primarily a backend Kotlin and services developer, Java, Kotlin, backend services, APIs, microservices kind of person. And this manager said, I want to backfill this person, but I also want someone who has worked in Android. So that backend piece remains. They want all of that, the backend, but they also want Android in the front end. So um, basically, this team is, or this project is notifications. So, these employees in the stores, they have thousands of employees in the stores, and they have thousands of, these handheld scanners devices that they scan, and if they want to check the inventory of certain products, stuff like that. So on those scanners they get notifications, kind of different kind of notifications, like, hey, there's a truck to unload in the warehouse, so go ahead and do that. Or maybe, hey, there is someone in the self checkout, let's say, and someone scans, let's say, alcohol, right, beer or whiskey, so it will trigger a message to the employees handheld devices, hey, you need to go verify the age, so the person goes and verifies the age. So that whole notification mechanism, this team is responsible for developing that. So they are using, all kind of backend, Kafka, MQ, Spring, Java, Kotlin, microservices, REST APIs kind of architecture there. So they are looking for this full stack person who can help, who can join the team and help with the not only backend and also front end development. So yeah, I was going through your resume. Looked really good. So I wanted to hear a little bit about your overall background first, and then also first of all, how does this requirement sound to you? Is there anything that is that you think that is not in line with your background and your experience? All of that. Yeah.
Sounds very good to me because I have experience in microservices, Kafka, Spring. I also use Kotlin on the back end and Kotlin on the Android itself, which is the preferred language to develop it. So I seem to be a good match. And alongside that, I have worked for ABI or AB InBev, which is a beverage company. They have presence in United States as well and other countries. And I have worked to them. They are a B2C company, so, and they too had some mobile applications that I had to maintain, and also I had to implement the observability of them because it's very important to see if things are going well. And at the time, they didn't have observability tool, for example. I implemented New Relic for them at the occasion. So I seem to be a very good match. My Android abilities are not my specialty, but I know how to deal with them. I know how to handle them. Not a problem to me because it's basically uh, almost a backend nowadays because mobile apps, they most of the time they are talking to a BFF, for example, to get a JSON and plot the data on the app itself. So it's basically data translation and DTOs and data class going uh, from a
Back
side
and
to the
forth.
other, but back and forth, yes. So nowadays, Android development is somewhat easier because of this, because we use the front end just to talk to the back end, and the back end handle all this stuff, including the colors, for example, images and stuff like that. So it's like a front end solid, mainly relying on the back end. So most of the things
Sure.
are talking to the back end. It's I'm used to this kind of scenario, to this kind of stack.
Okay. So have you worked on a project as a backend where Android was the front end?
Yes. For example, in Brazil, we have a bank here called BTG Pactual. It's one of the biggest bank here. We can download the app even nowadays. It's working. We had millions of customers here in Brazil. And I developed the BFF for a specific part of this Android app, which they have. They also have a iOS app, but in the backend also served it as well. I developed the BFF for a specific part, which was the renegotiation part of the app. So customer lend money from the bank and they don't pay back. So we need to get this money back in some way. And we offer some renegotiation offers or opportunities to them so they can pay us back. Let's say like that. More correctly, pay the bank back because not me. It's not
Yeah.
they aren't paying me. But I developed the backend to it because it was previously so slow because each call was sequential. So we had almost seven API calls that needed to be done every single time someone opens the financing ROM that we call. And it was so slow. It was 15 seconds. And the conversion rate was going down and down and down. And what it was a mess, the conversion rate, because of the slowness. I had implemented the BFF with multi-threading and reduce caching. And that solved the problem. It took 3 months to do that. And after that, on the observability tool that they had, which was Datadog, the P99 was decreased to less than 5 seconds. So the conversion rate started to go up again because the offers, the renegotiation offers that the client may have, are were appearing fast enough for them to see them. Because previously they they just turned off the app and they didn't see any offers because it was 15 seconds to the offers to appear for the offers to appear. So the conversion rate was declining because of this slowness. And the back end was in Kotlin with Spring Boot, and the front end was mobile, Android, and iOS. And I
Okay.
handle all that.
Nice. Um, in Kotlin, have you used something called coroutines?
Yes, mostly on the Android itself, but also on the backend side, it's possible to use it because we just need to import a library, and that's it. We need to make a context for it to run, and we also have some tools to unit test them, and it works fine as well. It's cheaper in comparison to normal thread pool in Java because the thread pool before Java 21 it was really uh, problematic in memory consumption. But with
Okay.
coroutines, we had a data structure called continuity, which is just a data structure that makes the impression of a multi-threading environment, and it's very efficient.
Awesome. Okay. And as far as let's say microservices is concerned, do you have experience with microservices?
Yes, most of my career I have dealt with microservices, especially migrating from monolith to microservices, and as well creating a microservice from the beginning. For example, this BFF that I mentioned, it's a subtype of microservices.
Okay. So in terms of um let's say there is a microservice that's running slow, right? And you have a response time that's pretty slow. How do you how do you go about learning why it is slow and what could be the possible scenarios why, and then once you figure out the scenario, how do you go about fixing it?
Most of the time, if there is a database involved, we need to check it first because it tends to be the bottleneck, the problem. Most of the times we just need to use explain analyze in a query, for example, and see if it's optimized or not. And if it's not, we already know where to optimize, to start the optimization process. So at the beginning, look at the database, and then if it's okay, the queries involved are okay, we then look for the traffic between the microservices, if it is optimized or not. How do we see that? If there is a room for caching most of the time, because the fastest call is that one that didn't need to be made. That's nothing beats that. The second fastest call is that was in caching, and we can get from it without any problem. Most of the time, read operations, it's good thing to have caching. It's not it's not so simple. We need to analyze if the get operation or the read operation supports the caching, but most of the times it will be possible and will accelerate things. After that, we can check the JVM itself if there is any data structure that is not optimized or some calling points that we can do in concurrency or multi-thread way, and check the garbage collector itself if it's optimized or not. For example, I had to deal with a real-time app in the past, which handled some trading options, and we were using the basic Java garbage collector from Java, which is G1GC. And then we switched it to ZGC or ZGC, which is a almost pauseless garbage collector. So just the one line
Yeah,
and things changed for the better. Just the memory
nice.
consumption went up, but it was okay in this scenario. So that's it.
Do you
That's
know,
the ways.
something called circuit breaker pattern?
Yes, circuit breaker. It's a way of dealing with the healthiness of the microservice and what to do when things go wrong or when error happens. We need to create a mechanism to not let things fall apart at us. We need to circumvent the situation. Circuit breaker is
Awesome.
a way of doing that.
Awesome. So may I know the reason you are looking for change?
Yeah, I really want to work for another country. Right now, I'm in Brazil. Here, the salary that I got is at the top salaries here in Brazil. But in comparison to United States and other countries, we are poor. So that's why I'm looking forward to work abroad and earning a stronger currency because the currency here in Brazil is very weak.
Sure. So, has my recruiter talked to you, discussed about the salary part?
He asked me my rate, my hourly rate. I told him 28.
So I have one. So, I want to present your resume to the customer. I have talked to at least 15 people in last 1 week. You are the best
Oh,
so far.
good.
Yeah, because there were some really good candidates, but there is a language barrier. So you have fantastic communication skills. So and there is another reason why I can't submit an average communicator. Although they were really good technically, but the way the interview process works in this client, I cannot submit an average communicator. Okay, so I think you will be just fine. So the first step is I have to when I submit your resume to the customer, your first interview will be more of an AI based interview. So you are not meeting with any hiring manager, talking to a live person. Your first interview is where you are um, recording your answers and then also taking a coding challenge. Okay, in the same time frame, right, in one go.
Okay.
So the way it works is when I submit your resume to the customer, they'll send me an interview link for you. So I'll forward you that. And then after that, whenever you have time in the next day or two, or maybe over the weekend, you can take this any time of the day. All right. Um, you can prepare for it, take 2 days, prepare for it, and then go ahead and take it. So the first part of the interview is the situation based questions, scenario based questions, just like you started off with explaining how you solved one problem for the bank, right? It took you 3 months to solve that error, the slow responsiveness, right? So it's just like that. So questions are like, tell us last time when, tell us a situation when you, let's say, have to take um, a difficult decision with a very with a very minimal knowledge, right, or experience. So they want to, from this question, they want to take, understand your, let's say, risk taking ability, right? So different questions, right? So if every question, really, with every question, you have to come up with a kind of success story, like the business problem. You're amazing in explaining the business problem, and then the technical solution, the way you articulated exactly what you have to do in this video interview. Okay.
Okay.
uh, and then as soon as you finish that, there will be a coding challenge. And the coding challenge will be, you have to, you can take it in Kotlin or Java, whatever you like, you are comfortable. You can do it. I will prefer Kotlin if you can. And then this probably takes 40-45 minutes to finish. Um, I think it is time bound also, I think. But what you have to do is, in this coding challenge, you have, your code must execute. I mean, all the test cases must pass and code must compile in the end. If your code will not compile, then you will fail the test. So that's a big one. Um, if you score a little lower on the communication side on the video answers, that's okay. But as long as your code works, I will be able to get, after that, this hiring manager will be able to talk to you. Okay. So
Okay.
that you have to pass this first video. What I can do is to help you is that I have some examples of from the past interviews. We interviewed some consultants. They gave us the questions saying, hey, and I can share that with you. You can practice and see if you will get the same questions. I can help you with that.
Good. Amazing.
Sounds good?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so that way that might help you prepare and get ready for the interview. So let me do this. Harpreet, who reached out to you first, I will ask him to call you and he will walk you through the interview process. He will also share his screen and show you some good interviews, how a good interview looks like, do's and don'ts, right, in the interview and stuff like that. Maybe he will also probably share some technical questions so you can practice. You might get the same technical questions, who know? So
Hopefully,
uh,
yes.
yeah, hopefully. So that's that. So let me do that. I'm very excited about your candidature, to be honest. I need one clarification from your resume. Okay, just give me 1 minute. So here, no, where is your resume? Here, yeah. So I have one question. So you're saying you're working for something called Simple Software for 1 year, right?
Right.
And then before that, you worked for BTG Bank.
Yes.
And so this I understand, but then if I go here, I see again BTG. So this and this are same.
Yes, they are the same. I only
Oh, okay.
sometimes people ask me to provide more details of my experiences. That's why after page 2, I have provided more specific details of what I have accomplished in each one of my experiences, as well as my previous experience before that. That two last ones. So all of these are more specific.
So you've been doing coding. I mean, you were DevOps in 2017, but you really started Java development from 2017 onwards.
Yeah, before that, I also used Java in my previous works, but it was mostly support and level 3 support. So I had to
Sure.
implement new features and also do the infrastructure maintenance. but specifically as a dedicated software developer creating features, I've been working since 2017.
Sure. What is this CINT company?
Yes, it's a consultancy company here in Brazil. It's very big. It's similar to ThoughtWorks, their
Sure.
business
Okay.
model.
ThoughtWorks. Okay.
Yeah, they have 8,000 employees.
Nice. So everything looks good. What I need is if you can update your resume, just like maybe this all look good. What I want is if you can just remove this, okay?
Okay,
Because this is confusing me and will confuse customer because you have same information in two different places, right? You see this?
yeah,
So what I would rather like to see is that maybe in the first page, everything looks great. What you do is don't mention your experience here, mention your experience here, and also give detailed experience, this one here in this page. So start experience from this page, and just like here, you have this detailed project description. Same thing you have to do for this project on this page, and then rest everything will remain same. You understand what I'm saying?
yes, got it. It's
Can you
it's
fix
easy to.
that for us?
Sure, right now it's
Sure.
necessary.
Great. Great. So yeah, so if you can just take your professional experience off from here and start from the second page and give me detail about this one and remove this thing. Just take this, put here, then detail, and then the second project will be this. So I will be okay with that. And then remove this completely. Okay.
Okay, so this segment in the first page called professional experience, I just remove it, right?
Yeah, you completely remove this.
Okay,
And
and
then
put
from
it.
second page, you start professional experience. And under that, you mention your simple software experience. Okay.
Okay,
Just and then also the detail, just like you have the details here under BTG. Similarly, just mention simple software there, the technical skills and then the description of the project here. Okay.
okay, got it.
Yeah. So
I will also provide more Android specific details from my
if yeah,
previous
if you have
experience.
any, yeah, if you have any Android specific, just provide it. And also maybe once we have the interview for you, client interview, maybe start preparing for Android a little bit. I think
Okay,
backend will be just easy for you, but maybe more Android. If you haven't worked on Android recently, let's say in last couple of years, maybe brush up for that. But in the coding challenge, there will not be any Android related questions.
okay, good
Or
to know.
also in the video, there will not be any coding. The video questions are more scenario based. If you have heard of star method
Yes.
interview,
Mhm.
yeah, so your answers are perfect. Your introduction, your method of answering question naturally really is a star method. You come across very presentable, very you articulate your answers in a very good manner. You pose the question, the problem statement first, and then you explain how you solve that problem, and then what all tools, technologies you used it. So by default you are answering in star method. So um, great. So congratulations for that. So that's it. I mean, what I will do, I will have Harry give you a call and walk you through next steps. We will wait for your updated resume. As soon as we receive it, we will submit you, and then we'll send you the link, and we will send you the sample questions. Okay?
Okay, deal. I'm going to update my resume and in a couple of minutes I'm going to send it to him.
Sure. By the way, what part of where are you exactly? What's your location? You said
It's a city near São Paulo,
St. Paul. Okay. And what is this place name?
Campinas. I may write it to you on the chat room. Okay, here. It's a big city here in
Campinas.
the state.
Yes. Okay, awesome. So yeah, so that's it. I like your background a lot. I'm very excited about your candidature. Hopefully we will work together. I do have a lot of employees and contractors who work on 1099 with us in near shore, Latin America. So I have about 38 contractors that work in Latin America, but I personally have never hired them. So what happened was, back in last year in August, we acquired a company,
Mm,
another company. It's Columbus, Ohio-based company, 2 hours from here, and we acquired that company, and then they had these contractors in nearshore offshores, which we inherited.
mm, okay.
So, but I personally don't have any direct experience. We do now working with them, like my operations team mostly work with them on the payroll and everything, but I've never hired anybody. If you get hired, you will be probably my first hire in the near shore. And if things go fine, let me tell you, this company, this client is the largest client company in US, largest grocery store. Okay, its name is
Mm,
Kroger, Kroger,
mm,
and they are a $160 billion company.
okay.
So if this one will go, if let's say if we will be successful, it will open door for us for a lot of opportunities, and you being my first placement there, who knows, you can be that face for me for the customer, and I can probably, there's a great chance of growth if you hired and stick to this project. I'm thinking about putting another 30, 40 people in this customer in the next 1 or 2 years. Okay, so if you get this job, you have a great potential of being that lead who will then, what I will do is I can promote you as a lead, and then I can have a team under you. If, God willing, everything goes fine, there's a great potential, not just money, but in terms of, um, and who knows, maybe in future you can come here and work with us side by
Yeah,
side.
it will be amazing. It's a dream of mine to go to the
Yeah.
United States. And I
Yeah.
also may help you in hiring new developers here in Latin
Oh
America
yeah.
because I talk Portuguese, I talk Spanish, I talk English. So,
Nice, nice, nice. Great, great. I met with you. So awesome. So I will ask Harry to get in touch with you. Okay.
okay, I'm waiting for him and thank you.
Pleasure speaking with you.
Pleasure as well.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.